Alright, let's dive into some of the hottest football gossip making waves right now. And trust me, there's a lot to unpack here. But before we get into it, let me just say, this transfer window is shaping up to be one of the most intriguing in recent memory. So, buckle up, because we're about to break down some major moves and what they could mean for the sport. First up, let's talk about Marcus Rashford. Now, personally, I think this is one of the most fascinating rumors out there. Fenerbahce is reportedly ready to break the bank to bring Rashford to Turkey. What makes this really interesting is the cultural shift it represents. Rashford, a Manchester United and England stalwart, potentially moving to a Turkish club. It's a bold statement about the global appeal of football and how clubs outside the traditional European powerhouses are stepping up. But here's the thing, Rashford is 28, in his prime, and Fenerbahce is clearly betting big on his impact. What this really suggests is that the Turkish league is serious about competing on a bigger stage. In my opinion, this move could be a game-changer for both Rashford and Fenerbahce, but it also raises a deeper question: are we seeing a new era of player movement beyond the usual suspects? Next, let's talk about Yan Diomande. RB Leipzig is holding out for a staggering €130 million from Real Madrid. Now, one thing that immediately stands out is the sheer value Leipzig is placing on this 19-year-old winger. What many people don't realize is that this isn't just about Diomande's current talent, it's about his potential. Leipzig is essentially saying, we know what we have, and we're not letting him go cheap. From my perspective, this is a power play by Leipzig, signaling their confidence in their youth development system. But it also puts Real Madrid in a tough spot. Do they pay up for a teenager, or do they walk away? If you take a step back and think about it, this negotiation is a microcosm of the high-stakes world of modern football transfers. Now, let's shift gears to Bruno Guimaraes. Arsenal is reportedly in talks with Newcastle to sign the Brazilian midfielder for somewhere between £70 million and £80 million. Personally, I think this is a smart move by Arsenal. Guimaraes has been a standout performer in the Premier League, and his addition could be the missing piece in their midfield puzzle. What makes this really interesting is the timing. Arsenal is clearly looking to strengthen their squad ahead of what could be a title-challenging season. But here's the catch: Newcastle isn't going to let him go without a fight. This raises a deeper question: how much is too much for a player like Guimaraes? In my opinion, if he can replicate his Newcastle form, £80 million could look like a bargain in a few years. Moving on, Paris Saint-Germain's pursuit of Ferran Torres is another headline grabber. What many people don't realize is that Torres has been somewhat underutilized at Barcelona. PSG sees this as an opportunity to bring in a versatile forward who can make an immediate impact. From my perspective, this move makes a lot of sense for both parties. Torres gets a fresh start at a club that's willing to build around him, and PSG gets a proven talent who's still only 26. A detail I find fascinating is how this transfer reflects the fluidity of player careers in today's game. One season you're on the bench, the next you're a key signing for a European giant. Lastly, let's touch on Cody Gakpo. Liverpool has no plans to sell him, despite Tottenham's interest. Personally, I think this is the right call by Liverpool. Gakpo has shown glimpses of brilliance, and at 27, he's entering what should be his peak years. What this really suggests is that Liverpool is committed to giving him the time to fully realize his potential. In my opinion, selling him now would be a mistake. If you take a step back and think about it, Liverpool's approach here is a reminder that not every player's journey is linear. Sometimes, patience pays off. So, what's the bigger picture here? These transfers aren't just about players changing clubs, they're about the shifting dynamics of football. From Fenerbahce's ambitious move for Rashford to Leipzig's stance on Diomande, we're seeing clubs assert their power in new ways. And as fans, we're the beneficiaries of this drama. But here's my closing thought: as we watch these moves unfold, let's not forget the human element. Behind every transfer fee and negotiation is a player's career, dreams, and legacy. What do you think? Which of these moves excites you the most? Let me know in the comments below.